Good morning, all. Welcome back to my class. Today we are going to learn the rest of the lesson, a short monsoon diary. So turn your textbook to page number 112. Part 2. August 2. All night the rain has been drumming on the corrugated tin roof. There has been no storm, no thunder, just the steady swish of a tropical downpour. It helps me to lie awake. At the same time, it doesn't keep me from sleeping. It is a good sound to read by. The rain outside, the quiet within. And although tin roofs are given to springing unaccountable leaks, there is a feeling of being untouched by, and yet in touch with, the rain. I am going to explain, so listen. The author wrote on August 2 how the rain had been falling noisily on the corrugated tin roof. There was no storm or thunder, just the smooth falling of the tropical raindrops. It made it easier for the author to lie awake. However, at the same time, it didn't prevent him from falling asleep. He explains how the sound of rain creates a nice atmosphere for reading the rain outside and silence within. The sound of the rain delighted him. Although he was inside the cottage untouched by the rain, yet he felt in touch with the rain. Look at the textbook. August 3. The rain stops. The clouds begin to break up. The sun strikes the hill on my left. A woman is chopping up sticks. I hear the tinkle of cowbells. In the oak tree, a crow shakes the raindrops from his feathers and caws disconsolately. Disconsolately means unhappily. Water drips from a leaking drain pipe. And suddenly, clean and pure, the song of the whistling thrush emerges like a dark, sweet secret from the depths of the ravine. Ravine means valley. I am going to explain, so listen. As the rain stops on the third day of August, the clouds begin to separate, giving way to the sun on the writer's left. A woman could be seen cutting sticks into smaller pieces, and the tinkle of cowbells could be heard. A crow was sitting on the oak tree, shook itself to get away the raindrops from its feathers, and cawed unhappily. Water dripped from the leaking drain pipe. As everything settled, the pure song of the whistling thrush could be heard like a dark, sweet secret from the depths of the valley. Look at the textbook. August 12. Endless rain and a permanent mist. We haven't seen the sun for 8 or 9 days. Everything damp and soggy. Nowhere to go. Pace the room. Look out of the window at a few bobbing umbrellas. At least it isn't cold rain. The hillsides are lush as late monsoon flowers begin to appear. Wild balsam, dahlias, begonias, and ground orchids. I am going to explain, so listen. By August 12, the hill had been experiencing continuous rain and permanent mist. They had not seen the light of the sun for 8 or 9 days. Everything was wet and moistened. One could not go anywhere. The only option was to move to and fro in the room or look out of the window at a few umbrellas. It was not cold rain. The vegetation could be seen growing luxuriantly and abundantly on the hillsides of the last monsoon flowers began to blossom. A few flowers that began to appear are wild balsam, dahlias, begonias, and ground orchids. Look at the textbook. August 31. It is the last day of August, and the lush monsoon growth has reached its peak. The seeds of the cobra lily are turning red, signifying that the rains are coming to an end. In a few days, the ferns will start turning yellow, but right now they are still firm, green, and upright. Ground orchids, mauve, lady slipper, and the white butterfly orchids put on a fashion display on the grassy slopes of Landor. Wild dahlias, red, yellow, and magenta, rear their heads from the rocky crevices where they have taken hold. Crevices means narrow openings or cracks in rocks or wall. Snakes and rodents flooded out of their holes and burrows, take shelter in roofs, attics, and godowns. Attics means a space or room inside or partly inside the roof of a building. A shrew, weak of eyesight, blunders about the rooms, much to the amusement of the children. Shrew means a small insectivorous mammal resembling a mouse with a long pointed snout and tiny eyes. Blunders means act clumsily. Don't kill it, admonishes their grandmother. Admonish means warn someone firmly. Chuchundas are lucky, they bring money. Chuchundas means Hindi word for shrew. And sure enough, I receive a check in the mail. Not a very large one, but welcome all the same. I am going to explain, so listen. August 31st, the last day of the month. The monsoon vegetation growth had reached its peak by that time, and the seeds of the cobra lily changed its color to red. It shows that it was the end of rainy season. In the next few days, the ferns will begin to turn yellow, but now they stand firm and upright. He mentions how the ground orchids, the white butterfly orchids, and the mauve lady slipper made the grassy slopes of Landor fashionable. Furthermore, the wild dahlias, red, yellow, and magenta, turned their heads back towards the narrow openings in the rocks where they had taken hold. The snakes and rodents that have come out of their holes and burrows and took shelter in roofs, attics, and godowns. A shrew with quite a weak eyesight moved about clumsily in the room. It acted as a source of entertainment for the children. Their grandmother told them not to kill it because chuchundas are known to bring money and prosperity. The author jokes about it and says that he surely received a check in his mail, although not a huge amount, but welcome anyway. Look at the textbook. October 3. We have gone straight from monsoon into winter rain. Snow at higher altitudes. After an evening hailstorm, the sky and hills are suffused with a beautiful golden light. Suffused meaning gradually spread through or over. I am going to explain, so listen. The month of October took the mountains straight into winter rain as it marked the end of the extended monsoon season. The higher altitudes were covered with snow. After an evening hailstorm, the sky and the hills were spread with a beautiful golden light. Look at the textbook. January 26. Winter rains in the hills. In the hushed silence of the house, when I am quite alone and my friend who was here has gone, it is very lonely, very quiet, as I sit in a liquid silence, a silence within, surrounded by the rhythm of rain, the steady drift of water on leaves, on lemons, on roof, drumming on drenched dahlias and window panes, while the mist holds the house in a dark caress. As I pause near a window, the rain stops and starts again, and the trees, no longer green but grey, menace me with their loneliness. I am going to explain, so listen. The author talks about the 26th day of January when he was all alone in the quiet and calm house. His friend who was there had gone. He mentions how it was very lonely and quiet as he sat in complete silence, experiencing the silence within. He was surrounded by the rhythm of the rain, the slow and gentle movement of water on leaves, on lemons, and on roof, as it drummed on wet dahlias and window panes. The mist covered the house gently in its darkness. As the author still near the window, the rain stopped and showered again. He mentions that the trees were now grey and no longer green, threatening him with their loneliness. Look at the textbook. March 23. Late March, end of winter. The blackest cloud I have ever seen squatted over Missouri, and then it hailed marbles for half an hour. Squatted means sat. Nothing like a hailstorm to clear the sky. Even as I write, I see a rainbow forming. I am going to explain, so listen. Next, he writes about late March that marked the end of winter season. He recorded having seen the blackest and darkest cloud resting over Missouri. It poured hail that looked like marble for about 30 minutes. He reveals how there is nothing like a hailstorm that clears the sky. He mentions that even as he was writing his diary, a rainbow was in its formation. That's all for the day. Thank you.